everybody, I'm jumping back to show you a new idea I'm having for free motion quilting on the 201. I know I showed you in the last video that I was using a box as a table extension, and it works out fine. And you know, if you're on a budget, why not? They work out fine. It's kind of anchored in there with the little trash bin that I have so it can't slide back. I also found a box that was just about the same height as the sewing machine base, and I pulled this out, which I forgot I had, and it is for free motion quilting. I forgot the name of what it is, but I think it's a Sew Steady product, but I will put the name in, the proper name in the link. Below the video, I mean. So I'm going to give this a try. Again, I set this on 0 stitches, which is right in the middle. If you notice, there is a line right there, and that's where I stay. I have on my green gloves, my kitchen gloves with the fingers cut off that work perfectly fine. I get a good grip on my quilt, and it works for me. Again, budget. These were all things I did when I didn't know what I was doing, and they continue to work, so I'm going to continue to use them. I left this alone, and I took all of the tension off of the foot. And I left this foot on for today because I did a test run, and it worked out fine on the test run. So let me grab that and see if I could show that to you before I get started on the real quilt. So if you see I have white stitches running through here, wherever you see white stitches for the top, here, that's what I've newly done, and I'm kind of getting the knack of it. And one of you very smart people in the comments said, why don't you just use white thread and go around the white instead of trying to quilt the animals? And that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm using a blue thread on the back because the back of the quilt is blue, and so I don't want it showing up as much as, you know, I'm not doing any fancy stitches that I want it to be showing up so much. So I'm going to use a blue thread on the bottom because the back of the quilt is blue, and I'm going to use the white thread on the top for obvious reasons, and that's my plan. You know, I wish I could remember the name of this, but I'll put it in the comments below. So let me get set up, and I'll be right back. So I'm back, and I'm showing you the back of the quilt because this is the color that I'm going to be using on the back of the quilt, but I'm using a very dark blue thread, and it seems to blend pretty well. As you could see, I did some of these binding stitches in there, and that's what I'm using on the back. I only did one bobbin full, so here goes nothing. I'm going to, you know, the principle is to start in the middle of the quilt, so I'm going to start in the middle of the quilt, or roughly in the middle, because being that these pieces are already bound, I'm kind of limited to where I can allow the top and the back to shift. I've done this before. I've seen others do this before, and I'm pretty sure it's the right way to do things. So I think I'm going to start. I'm sorry for the pause. I'm really thinking about this. If I start up here and kind of work down the middle of the quilt, that might work. So I could kind of do this, You know, this slips much better than the issue that I was having the other day, so this is going to work. So, where's the bottom thread? Pull it to the back, pull everything to the back. I'm going to end up pulling up the bottom thread to the front, like people do on a long arm. I don't know if it's necessary, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop my needle. I can't bring you in any closer because then I'll be bumping the camera. But here goes. Can I get the thread up now? You know, it's there it goes. So I'm pulling up my bobbin thread. Come on, girl. Let's do it. Let's do it. Here's the thing. Which is the piece that's loose and which is the piece that's coming from the bobbin? Oof. There we go. Okay. And now I'm going to start. I'm not going to go this slow the whole time. I'm just going to go this slow until I figure out my strategy. I thought just waves, just meander, and that will be work out fine. Get these threads out of the way. I don't need them anymore. And get going. Now you see what I meant? There's a little puckering. That's what I'm worried about. And I'm also worried about, you know, I'm using a dark thread in the back. So anytime it wants to pull up, it's going to pull up. I could see that it's going to pull up a little bit, but the front of the quilt has blue in it. The back of the quilt is all blue. Look how pretty that looks. All right, I'm going to have to get rid of some threads. That's fine. We are not perfect. Did I lose my spot? That's another thing you have to be careful of. So now you see that? I'm not crazy about that. So I'm going to work out some things and I will get back. And I don't know that I'm going to film me doing this whole thing. But I think what I'm going to do is come back and show you what I ended up doing. Thanks so much for watching. See you when I see you. So I changed out the foot and I put on a darning foot, or not a darning foot, a free motion quilting foot. And I put a little bit more pressure back on here since I'm using a darning foot because this foot hops. So let's see how this goes. Okay, it moves much more quickly, but I do see a lot of blue, so I'm going to be picking these threads out. Okay, so back to square one. If you look over here, this came out pretty nice. Let me see if I could zoom in a bit. This section came out really nice, so I might go back to doing that. So I'll keep you posted. Bye. So what I'm finding is when I hit here, and if I hit there and I don't continue the motion, I'm getting the back thread pulling up a little bit more. But you know what? Like I said before, the blue, there's blue in the front of the quilt, and I'm sure that the baby isn't going to be born an expert quilter, and hopefully he'll just be laying on the blanket and going like this to my little stitches. Anyway, that's basically it. I'll show you a picture of the quilt when it's done. I've done quite a lot of it so far, and I'm going with it. Thanks so much for watching. See you when I see ya.